Richard Bears, big time pollster, has a hand in the Michigan elections. You know, he's called the People's Pundit, and nothing says that you're for the people, by the people, like pandering to Trump or U.S. democracy in general. Okay, now he says it's confirmed that 10,000 dead people voted for Joe Biden. Now, of course, what is the evidence for this? Now, his evidence is that 10,000 ballots were sent out for 10,000 ballots were sent out to deceased people. So they got, in other words, the registry didn't know that they were dead, and they got sent out. Of course, if you're paying attention, you would know that just because they were sent out doesn't mean that they were signed and returned as a registered vote. Because that's the part that he isn't actually demonstrating. Yeah, he has showed that 10,000 of these ballots went out for deceased people, but where's your evidence that they came back and voted for Biden with someone's signature on it? Well, see, that's kind of the whole problem here. Now, because he made this accusation, without any actual evidence, his Twitter account was temporarily restricted. And this, of course, in these cases where if you say something completely irrational and with nothing to back it up, and then you get temporarily banned for it, by virtue of having been banned, that means you're right. Even though that's not how that works. But he is back on Twitter now, and U.S. President Donald Trump retweeted him as though it were some kind of proof of actual fraud in the election, despite the fact that the Department of Homeland Security chief says that this was the most secure election ever, and then found himself out of a job because Trump didn't like what he said. And the fact that the national elections people said that there was no evidence of any significant fraud whatsoever. I mean, this is it's hilarious how bad U.S. democracy actually is. Hillary loses, it's the fault of Russia. Because it was Russia's fault that somebody inside the DNC leaked her emails showing how she, or the Democratic elite, screwed Bernie Sanders out of the nomination. Even thinking he was ever going to get the nomination is frankly naive in my eyes. So it's Russia's fault. If Trump loses, it's the Democrats' fault, and they allege all kinds of malfeasance on the part of the Democrats who are not actually in control of the country where these things happen. It's actually the Republicans, but I digress. It seems to me that Americans can't seem to verify their elections as being true. This keeps being a problem where baseless accusations are being used to undermine their own elections because their candidate didn't win. And it's what makes this particularly obnoxious is the fact that they're telling everybody else that they're the bastion of freedom and democracy. They're telling other people that their elections are fraudulent. They're claiming other countries are not democracies, etc. One of the ones that's particularly obnoxious is continually claiming that Iran is a theocracy without democracy. Aside from the fact that elections keep happening, you can criticize them for being, bourgeois parliamentarianism. But you can't say it's a straight up dictatorship in the bourgeois sense and that there's no elections when there very clearly are elections there. And they do happen. And the president changes. So I just wanted to go through that. It's even when you make these outrageous allegations about your own democracy, it's highly questionable that you can even consider capitalism to be a democracy. But then to going through all these problems, have the gall to turn around and accuse other people of not being a democracy.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.